Tim, if you're watching this, I just want to share my appreciation for the work you've done over the years. And I especially appreciate you focusing more on the conspiracies than the theories. And you occasionally offer a little bit of your own theories, but you're mostly just sticking to, what's the data out there, and you don't theorize too much. But occasionally when you do theorize, some stuff I think you're on point. Some stuff I think you get a little bit off. But on this, you nailed it. So I just want to go over the first few minutes of this video here. And then I'm going to build off of that, some of what you shared here.
Democrats, the media, establishment politicians have completely overhauled our election system with universal mail-in ballots. And now we are seeing waves of tweets where people are receiving 6, 7, 8 ballots to their homes in Washington, D.C. We're seeing reporting from the New York Times that people in Brooklyn are getting ballots with the wrong names on them. I can't tell you how many stories I've gone through and how many times I've said it. The election is completely broken, and the Democrats are at fault for this. And their allies in media are at fault for this, but they keep pushing the lie. And the lie is that whenever Donald Trump says there's a problem with mail-in ballots and that our election system is being compromised, they claim Trump is lying, and now they're blaming him for the violence that is surely going to come. But here's where things are really interesting. Some have suggested that this is all on purpose. I mean, why is it that they would allow someone like me to call them out and say, look at all of these broken ballots? Why is it that media outlets would also report on the broken election system and how mail-in ballots are broken completely, but then come out and say Trump is lying about it? Both can't be true. Perhaps because the only real goal is to convince the American people that the election is broken, like I'm telling you right now. And it's because it is. And what comes from that uncertainty? Chaos and the collapse of our system. We're not going to have a president on November 3rd. Or I'm sorry, we're going to have Trump until January 20th. But we're not going to know who the next president is. And if Trump does anything to try and prevent this chaos from taking over, they say that he is cheating and lying and manipulating people. And now, because Trump pointed out legitimate concerns, the useful idiots in the media just parrot the same lies. You see, last night, I'm sorry, not last night, but a couple days ago during the debate, Donald Trump said there were a bunch of ballots found in a river. Well, he misspoke. That was wrong, okay? They were found in a ditch. And so this one journalist asks Kayleigh McEnany, where's the river? And she goes, Donald Trump, I think he was referring to the story about them being found in a ditch, absentee ballots. And then he says, where's the river, though? And she goes, I think Trump was referring to a ditch. I just want to know where the river is. The media is playing a game. They don't care.
Yes, they are playing a game. The intention is that you see the farce. Because it doesn't really matter who wins at the end of all this. So I just want to, since we're talking about the media playing a game, and Tim has mentioned Snopes many times before, how they're very politically biased, and they will, if something is running counter to the narrative, they'll try to frame it so that it's either false or it's only partially true, by inserting irrelevant things, just so that it's not building up a narrative that is not the narrative they're trying to promote. So if Snopes is not trying to obfuscate this narrative that the election's being gamed, then maybe this narrative is intended. Maybe you're supposed to see this. So, were trays of mail, including mail-in ballots, found in a ditch? True. Not even partially true. Because they could have gone through that same nonsense. Well, it's Not true that it wasn't in a river, but he never said that. So boom. So you're seeing all these scandals come out, and what you're usually seeing it is on the left. You're seeing all these scandals come out and this corruption. So the left is being thrown under the bus. And so even if there's a cover-up of the corruption, even the cover-up it seems to be a game in and of itself. Like it's very easy, just a little bit peek over the surface, and how could they have hidden it from us? And so all this is being made public now. What happens when you have one side for years that's been getting away with corruption, and you're seeing this depravity ruin lives? Well, you have someone like this rise to popularity.
The reason why I brought up Gavin is that I think that I have had a couple podcasts with him, and people have had like weird conversations with me about it. And I've said, this is one of the things that I've said, I was like, look, that guy's mostly fun.
Yeah.
Mostly fun.
I started this gang called the Proud Boys. And
The Proud Boys?
The Proud Boys.
What's Proud Boys about?
We will kill you. That's the Proud Boys in a nutshell. We will kill you. We look nice. We seem soft. We have boys in our name. But like Bill the Butcher and the Bowery Boys, we will assassinate you. Now, part of the reason I agree to do the talk is because I'm allowed to bring all my guys. And we can fight our way in and fight our way out. Beating the shit out of these people. I think it's our job to do it. And the cops to turn a blind eye. If you're wearing a MAGA hat, as Sal is right now. Sal's in the studio, folks.
Oh my God, it's Sal Cipolla. Where are you from? On here. Wow, you came a long way.
If you're wearing a MAGA hat, and some guy with a slightly punk demeanor comes up to you and says, "Hey, are you Sal or are you pro-Trump?" Choke him. Trust your instincts. Don't listen to what he has to say. Choke him. If I do a video where I say, how about we start throwing bricks? Is that legal? You can't call for violence on a specific person, but can you say they're throwing bricks? We should throw bricks. Can you call for violence generally? Because I am. Fighting solves everything. We need more violence from the Trump people, Trump supporters. Choke a motherfucker, choke a bitch, choke a tranny. Get your fingers around the windpipe. I want violence, I want punching in the face. I'm disappointed in Trump supporters for not punching enough. Get a fucking gun. Get ready to blow someone's fucking head off. I've even killed people in my dreams. That's how awesome my gun is. Get in trouble, get arrested, get fired. Let's all get in this together. They can't kill us all.
Dude, I got green tips, man. Those are, go through at least 3 bodies.
You want to go violence, are you? And I go,
I started this gang called the Proud Boys.
Okay, so I think we don't need the ominous music. So I've seen a bunch of Gavin's material, so of course you could say this is cherry picked. But still, I mean, put into any context, it's, and I don't think Gavin is with the Proud Boys anymore, even though he kickstarted it off. It is, it's not a white supremacist group. I mean, even with these clips put together, it's clear it's not white. It's not a white supremacist group. It is a response to the extreme left. So, even if he doesn't perform the action, the attitude is clearly a response to what Gavin and what later others saw in the extreme left. Now, when you have like rage-filled people, they're very easy to manipulate, particularly act against their own best interest. And they will delude themselves to secure just the weakest sense of satisfaction. They need to feel some sense of winning. And so you can just to dangle that little carrot that you might be able to harm me. You can make him do really stupid things and they would act against their own best interest. And this works especially doubly well when we're talking about mobs. And then you can take advantage of not just one person's malice, but a whole deluded mob mentality. So then you can have something like this easily happen. So you can put out some false information. Oh, hey, we're going to show up in here. And then you have people, not only did they waste their time to show up to a non-existent rally, but instead they attack the media instead. So again, just more being thrown under the bus. And then again, any attempt to cover up. So you have, like you see the backdrop, someone's reporting on riots, and mostly peaceful as the backdrop's just on fire, buildings on fire, looting abounds. And so what does the average person see when they see that? Well, they're seeing not just the depravity, but they're seeing the cover-up of the depravity and those trying to cover up the depravity. And so then they feel even more disgusted with the whole situation. And what happens when normal people feel threatened and isolated, but then they're given something to rally around, a group or a cause? Well, then you have this. You got more people joining the Proud Boys, even though you have the media trying to demonize them. And let me be very clear, I'm not in support of the Proud Boys, because I'm not in support, because all this is just a game. Both sides, you don't want to be part of this game. Now, is this, thus far I've been talking a lot about the U.S. And again, thank you for Tim Pool for covering such a wide breadth. I could share other sources, but you're a great source. So, no, it's not just happening here in North America, there in the USA and Canada. In the UK. So you've got, well, of course, you had the Hong Kong protests as well, but these particularly against the people are getting sick of being boxed in and having their for the lack of a better term, because even though right now it's the Conservatives are in the UK, really they're really quite spineless and authoritarian spineless, if that makes sense. They'll enforce rules that are authoritarian, but they won't do anything to change that. If that makes sense. All right, so you have it here, you have it in Europe. What about in the Middle East? Well, yep, it has started.
This war between neighbors is being waged on the ground, in the air, and on YouTube. Video from Azerbaijan shows its forces blasting Armenian positions, while Armenia shows enemy soldiers getting shot at trying to capture high ground. Armenia claims children are among its dead. My 9-year-old daughter was killed either by artillery or a bomb, says one man.
All right, so you get the point there. Now, I mentioned before, as tensions rise and things escalate, you're going to see some limited use of the three big bads: biological, chemical, and nuclear. Now, we've already had instances over the last few years, so it's not new news regarding biological and chemical warfare. We haven't seen yet any tactical, well, not to my knowledge. If someone knows, let me know down in the comments in YouTube. But they've largely, as far as I know, I think they only used the Moab recently, which is the biggest non-nuclear option. But again, the reason I bring those up is when you see these come up, don't think, okay, this is the end of the world. We're going to have either a biological end of the world, chemical end of the world, or nuclear, because of this whole idea of MAD, mutual assured destruction. So as soon as one person does that, okay, or one country does that, okay, now it gives everyone license to do that, and then that's the end of the world. No. So that's why I bring that up. You need to keep focused on what the actual war is. Don't let the skirmishes and the threats of escalation wars, because this can very easily escalate. So Turkey and Russia are considering getting involved, and of course they get involved. Here in Canada, we're currently allied with Turkey, but it's got a Muslim nation fighting a Christian nation, and then Canada's being asked, okay, which side are you going to take if this escalates? And so this could very quickly escalate beyond these two states going at it. But is that the main war you need to be focused on? And I won't say worried. Yeah, I'm not saying worried about and anxious about, but concerned about. No. So back to Gavin McInnes. So like I said, he's a response to what you see on the far left. So he says, I was a pro-choice atheist, then I had kids, now I'm a God-fearing pro-life Catholic. Well, doesn't that sound hunky-dory? Trump attempts a fall turnaround, reclaiming his Catholic base. Okay? So as far as I know, he identifies as Catholic. Democrat nominee, a Catholic. Okay. Donald Trump paints conservative, and I've heard some call her devout Catholic, Amy Barrett. Okay. Now, remember back to at the beginning of this video, I mentioned it doesn't matter who wins. Because if the plan to game the election, and if it's not called out, they somehow Joe Biden wins, despite all the corruption and then the outpouring of malice that, oh no, this election is rigged, and dragging this thing on for months. So if he pulls a win despite all of that, this is something that was asked a while back. Do Democrats have a God problem? So this has been, both sides are being played. So you have ultra liberal, I won't even say liberal, ultra leftist, basically anything goes, Catholics, sorry, the word escapes me. Not clergy, but or bishop, but those that you will have a kind of just bring into your, sorry, the word escapes me, But they've got ultra left Catholics trying to co-opt and fit in ideology on the left, and then you've got, of course, the Republicans bringing tons of more conservative Catholics in on their side. But nonstop, Catholics are being put into positions of power. Now, I want to make a clear distinction here. I'm not talking about your that nice lady down the street, and she's a Catholic. Oh, well, she's sus now. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your Joe and Jane Smith type of whatever they want to believe personally. I'm talking about people that have been trained specifically and been brought up in a political setting to get into these positions to implement policies that will eventually bring around this recapturing of power. So this is what I'd been warning about for a good long time now. So I warned about the false game between the left and the right for a good number of years now, but because I didn't really have any, it was just like an occasional conversation. I wasn't a political pundit, so that conversation usually went nowhere, because as far as your average Joe is concerned, that's just another opinion and of how people think things are going. And so I usually just put that aspect of my life aside, and I just went back to being a class clown. But that can no longer be put aside, as now it's not just coming, it's here, it's in the process of it's coming to its climax of this left versus right game, and soon the culture's about to flip. So and I mentioned this in the previous video, it's basically going to be the reversal of the French Revolution. You're going to have, so instead of a long-standing religious world being displaced and a secular or atheist worldview being set up, now you're having the atheist worldview, secular worldview, demonized to the utmost, and then with that same power that had been ruling Europe for over 1,200 years is now reasserting themselves, and you see it staring you right in the face now. Like I only brought up a few examples here, but maybe for another stream I'll just do like a like and like charts of like percentages, how much have been, you know, like displaced, people in positions of influence have been displaced by Jesuit trained Catholics. But that'll have to be for a whole nother stream. I've gone on for long enough. That's it. Don't get caught up in all this. Actually, no, it's not it. I want to share a bit of a personal testimony, life lesson there. So as you're seeing these two sides go at it, and like I mentioned, when you're when you're angry, when you're full of rage, you're very easy to manipulate. And I had an instance just today that I was like, it can even infect me. And I was about to lose it on this employee. I'm trying to do this transaction, and because I got it was in Starbucks, so I had to wear a mask, and I'm trying to communicate through the mask. And so it's clear that and there's like a shield in between us. And so it's clear the girl taking my order is having a hard time hearing me. So I have to keep trying to enunciate clearly and speak louder. And even still, the order was wrong. So then I'm trying to pay, and the debit card, sometimes the chip will not read, and it just comes up with an error, and then it says swipe the card. Well, swiping the card will never work. It will only work with the chip. So if you try to process it with swipe, it'll just decline it. So I said, I can't swipe, and I keep having to repeat myself. So I have to get louder so she can hear me. So I can't swipe it. I have to use the chip. It's like, well, can't you just tap? I'm like, this card can't tap. This debit card is chip only. And then, and so then the manager starts walking by and seeing that this is taking a while, and like, and then overhears me say, well, I can't swipe. It's chip only. And she's like, what? You don't have to be so rude about it. I just looked at her, and I just visualized, okay, I could very easily go, okay, what's your name? What's your identification? I'm calling this in. This is ridiculous. You did not need to get yourself involved in this situation, and you're calling me rude. You are the one who interrupted this transaction, and so I just looked at her, visualizing what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna get her fired. And I thought, and I could see this play out if I was to go through that, and I were actually to get her fired. Then there's one more person that's unemployed, bitter, and looking to take their anger out on the world. And so I thought, do I really want to escalate this? Does the world really need more malice? And also, I thought, what right do I have to tell others who had been even more slighted to forgive those who had slighted, not necessarily for that person's benefit, but primarily forgiveness is for the person doing the forgiving, to let go of that rage, because then that rage does nothing good for you. You're very easy to manipulate in that rage state. So I just let it go, and I just went back to the transaction, and then just by having that, because as our eyes met, I think she realized, like, oh, what, I might be out of line here. So after that, because I went up for a refill and whatnot, she was pleasant after that, when I had to deal with her again, because she was at the till next time. But yeah, this malice that's sweeping through the world, don't get caught up on this. There's no right side with these sides. There's no correct. There's no good side in these sides. So you think, well, okay, Antifa, BLM, all that, they're evil. I'm going to join the Proud Boys. No. Or Proud Boys or just pick whatever group that's in response to that. I'm going to join them. No. You're either way, you're going to be caught up in this malice, and you're going to be manipulated. And then, so when this all comes to a head, and people are begging for someone to bring peace to it, it's already in play. It's all ready to switch over. That we've got someone that could lead us through this nonsense, to restore peace and order. But it's going to come at a cost. It's going to come at a cost to your freedom. So that's why for these past months, I've been trying to encourage, I don't want to say self-reliance, because I've also been advocating you have your own personal relationship with God. So obviously you can be relying on Him, but responsibility. And I think that would be the best word to describe it. So if you know what you need to do, and you actually do it, it's going to be much better off over these coming months, coming years. If you don't heed any of the warning, and you just go into this blind, it's not going to go. It's not going to go well for everyone, but it's going to be horrendous for those who do nothing. If you're and I'm starting to see some people come around and starting to get it, that things aren't just going to go back to normal. And I think actually this is a good point to end off on, because what I want to do for this coming Monday is I want to use the analogy of a really simplified economy as to how the economy is about to crash, like how it's not at a point where it can be fixed, or it's not even wanted to be fixed at this point. It's being pushed to fail. And so, yeah, that'll be a good kind of segue to what's coming on Monday. But tomorrow, as always, Friday night, I hope to see some of you in VR chat. We will toast to something good this past week, and then either Sunday, it's normally Sunday night, we do movie or anime night, and yeah, so I hope to connect with some of you either Discord, phone, or in VR chat. Anyway, take care. Good night.